Hi, thank you so much for tuning in to P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationships. I'm Pat Renfro, and we are on Chapter 10. Is your home a castle or a pigsty? We're going to be looking at 3 things. I'll be showing you 2 extreme cases today. Ones that, in many cases, most people won't encounter. I say that slowly because percentage-wise, many of us have issues that we really don't even recognize we have sometimes, or we make light of it when really it's a real condition. But there's a middle ground, and many times we don't recognize those tendencies. I talked to you in the past about how the signs are usually there when you're dating someone. And so the book is really all about helping you consider things that you wouldn't even think about, because we really usually think about compatibility. Would you still marry your partner if they were a slob?
My name is Kelly, and I'm Robin's daughter. When I moved into the house, I was about 23. As I remember, it was really neatly kept.
Wanted to take a funny approach to it because the reality is many times, more often than not, we're happy to be in a relationship. We're happy to have an intimate connection with our partner. We're enjoying the companionship, and we minimize the differences. And as a result, later, when we're connected, when we're completely committed to the relationship, and these areas that were signaled to us come out, we're done. We don't know what to do. So today we're going to be talking about extremes, just to bring it back and then ask you to come to the middle. And so the 3 areas are understanding your environment, assessing compatibility, and then communicating and compromising. See, in marriage, compromising has to be a committed behavior. It's something you should go into the marriage knowing that's just a part of it. If you don't have the coping mechanisms, which we'll be talking about soon, to get past compromise, you'll be in divorce. That's just real talk. So what I am trying to help you do is think about it, talk about it, communicate, and reflect. It is so important that I know where I am first before I even think about what I need in a relationship. That's the critical piece. Am I clean? Am I organized? Or am I a slob? And the funny part is, get in touch with it, because you would be amazed at just how many people aren't even aware that they live the way they live.
Like a little jewel house.
People call me a germaphobe. And lately I've been listening to talk on OCD. And it's real and it's serious. And I said, do I have those tendencies? Again, range. I may not be to the point where I need to be medicated. Maybe I am. I need to do some research on it. But I do have a tendency to think about germs in a very personified way. You see that light switch back there? Yeah, I'm thinking about how many times I've touched that after I ate. That light switch doesn't get touched much, but it does. It gets touched more than you would imagine. And so we don't think about those kind of things. We don't think about the fact that we opened the door to the house, but we've come in from who knows where, and that door has mega germs. Okay, I'm going to stop. For all the people who know me, so they won't have to relive that, I'm just going to stop. But I just want to say that we all have tendencies, and it's important for us to get in touch with those tendencies and not justify them or explain them away, but just really get in touch with them.
At the end, he ends up naked in a room locked away, urinating into a bottle, and he doesn't want to face the world. And I said, you know, there are times, and I'm not exaggerating, when I'm that close to that.
How many times do you think have you been that close to that scene? kind of trapped in a room?
There's a couple times, moments in a month, when it's just hard to go out or face anything.
So that's one very important piece is you need to be aware of what your environment is like. And the other reason that that's important is you need to know what you need your environment to be like. You don't want to get in a relationship and get so caught up in the person emotionally that you disregard how you need your environment to be. Maybe you are laid back and you chill, and that's super important to you. Maybe you were in a previous relationship with a person who had OCD tendencies and you don't want any parts of it ever again. So you might be even excessively trying to avoid that type of thing. Whatever it is, you need to be in touch with two things: how you manage your own home and what you need as it relates to being in a relationship with someone else, sharing that space. Okay, let's move right to the second. We need to assess compatibility. And I've said enough about that in the previous part where I'm just going to say this little piece. In order for you to assess compatibility, both of you have to know how both of you live. Then you have to talk about it. You have to say, let me see, is this something they're wanting to be like this? Is this a skill set they wish they had, but they don't? Is this environment perfectly okay with them? Does it bother them? Sometimes we are disorganized. I'm disorganized. And I hate it. I hate not knowing where stuff is and not having a system in my mind. I used to live with someone and she is so organized. And I would compliment her all the time and she'd be like, oh, that ain't no big deal. She took it for granted. It is a big deal to be able to mentally formulate systems and processes to be able to put things in place so that when you need them, you know where to go get them. Even if you don't need it right now, you need it down the road. Speaking of which, when I showed you the video about hoarding, that's someone who needs everything and doesn't know how to get rid of it. But then again, when it's extreme, like what I showed you, yeah, that's probably medication is necessary, counseling is necessary. There's something else going on. But there's a middle ground. There's a middle ground. And so anyway, if you know that you're disorganized and you don't like it, you like cleanliness, you like having a neat home, but you just have no skill set in that area, then that's something that gives you all room to talk about it because, again, that person may have the flexibility, the ability to compromise and say, you know what, I got you. The one piece I do want to say that's critically important is do not assume you can change the person. Look at this person now, see how they are. Regardless of what they tell you they want to become, you have to stop and say, yes, I think I love this person. But do I love them so much that if they never got around to making that change that they claim they're going to make, I'd be okay? Or would it wreck my world? You got to do yourself a favor and really evaluate that fully and see it all the way through to the other side. What would it look like if this person never, ever, ever changed that?
And a young woman who found his brand of humor charming. 30 years later, she sits beside him as his wife, and both remember the title of his first featured act.
Borderline psychotic. When you look back at that marquee,
How did they know?
Yeah, exactly.
do you remember the first time you saw the rubber glove?
Yes. I thought he was nuts. Like, oh, what? But I thought it was hysterical.
But even then, the rubber gloves were no joke, carrying them for more than his act.
And you knew that at the time.
We didn't know it was OCD then, but I did know that he took a lot of showers. He had certain rituals that he did, but I didn't know what it was.
And then the final piece, communication and compromise. That says we've thought about compatibility, hopefully both of us, but all I have is myself. So I've definitely thought about, is this a compatible piece that I can live with? And then finally, let's talk about it. Let's put it on the table. Let's be honest with ourselves, honest with each other. And let's talk about where we can flex and bend and where we can't. That is so important. What I will leave you with is this. Always be working on becoming the best version of yourself that you can. Always be finding ways to be grateful in this life and be happy with where you are today. Even if you know it's not where you want to be ultimately and you want to grow, still you want to make sure that you find peace with self, because you can't take turmoil and discontentment into a marriage and expect it to be happy. And really, marriage probably won't even find you if you're not in a healthy state. So you want to make sure that you love yourself, that all you have is who you are. I've been saying this for many years. All we have is who we are. So if I don't like me, I can't even really show up for you. I might act like I am. I may think I am. I might even idol you on some way or another. And then because of that, like you, I may feel like I like you more than I like myself because I wish I was like you. All these things happen when our self-esteem is wacko. But the truth is, there's a commandment in the Bible that says, love each other as you love yourself. And I'm telling you, to me, that's one of the first works. If you don't know who you are, you don't like yourself, you can't appreciate where you are. Yeah, you may say, ooh, I'm looking forward to getting there. And maybe, you need to get there. But you have to gradually get there. And you have to be happy with who you are as you grow and be able to celebrate that. So anyway, have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that bell when you hit subscribe so that you can know when I do my uploads, and make a comment. Bring others back. We need to keep looking at how to make our relationships strong. All right, you have a great